know why I feel this way. Every day I wanna run away. I think I'll go back to that place I stay. Play on the server the TimeShot way.
Hello people, it's Poet. Welcome back to TimeShot. I'm just looking now at the opening here of my castle area. If this is a castle area, I don't know. It's more, this is a keep, I guess you could call it. And I don't know what this courtyard is all about. You can see that I've been building something there, and I'm going to show you. That's what we're mostly going to be working on this episode. But I was thinking lately that even though this is big, even though that this is quite the undertaking to make this this wall and finish this wall. This wall is basically done now. This is basically done, except for a few little details, which I might actually do right now. But in doing this and actually completing this, it feels almost like, wow, it could have been that much bigger. I don't know why I think that, but I'm even thinking now that what I might even do is kind of have this as an intermediate courtyard of sorts, and then open up somewhere along this wall here and just take this entire area here, this whole swamp, and just convert it into castle, into a courtyard, into a little village, into whatever I want. I might do that. Kind of running short on space, though. I don't want to go too far this way, because that's obviously getting a little bit close to spawn. I like having this natural forest here. It's one of the last remnants of the dark forest that used to spread all around spawn and now has been mostly cut down. It feels like that's real life, isn't it? You know, cutting down the forest to make room for builds and stuff. But yeah, there is room over here. I could do a few little things, maybe between this wall and the road that I've built that cuts through there. You know, the road's right there. I can see it. So maybe I could do that. Do a few little houses or something outside of the castle walls. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to look at it, how I'm going to do it. But I feel like I look at this and I look at like what I was trying to build there, and that's why I'm thinking like, oh, I don't have that much space. Despite it being a pretty large build already, I don't have that much space. So anyway, the reason that I plotted these two things out was because I wanted to make more of an entrance. I was looking at some old real-life castle walls and some castle walls from in movies and stuff. And what you see most often is you'll have a wall like this. It'll have a walkway along the top. But then you'll have little guard towers in the corners. And you'll have a little, almost like a little shack up here, a little room for the guards to sit in as well. And I guess for the mechanism for the gate and all that kind of stuff. That'll all appear here. So I've just marked it off, just kind of from window to window, I think it is. From that window to that window. Just with some cobblestone slabs. Just as markers, is kind of where I want to start. If I were to start building a little shack up here, I'd build it there. But probably won't get around to it until later, which means that the world download, which is happening as I record this, it's happening tomorrow at midnight. So chances are that it won't happen until way after that, just as an FYI. But anyway, I'm going to grab some of these cobblestone walls. And the reason being, because that was really the last thing. I cut an episode, I did a whole episode, but didn't really talk about too much. I'll be repeating a lot of it probably in this because I don't have much to talk about again. But that's where I finished the wall. And the only thing that I didn't really finish was to put these cobblestone walls up on the different spots. So I started doing it. You can see I've gone to about there, and I went around. And that's done, and that's done. This is all done. And then I stopped right there. So that's where I left off. So let's finish this. And I guess while we do this, I guess I can talk about just everything. Everything. Kind of my thoughts on life and that kind of stuff. Not that there's much to talk about, like I was saying, but you guys do like the more personal stuff as well. So in the episode that I cut, I was trying to say I had this huge talk. I don't really know why I even had this huge talk about it, about how I'm on college hours, as I call them. How I used to be on college hours. I should correct myself. And what I refer to college hours are those wee hours of the night that you stay up till when you're in college, and usually you do it because you're studying, and just because you're a kid and you want to stay up all the time, right? You're at school virtually all day, every day, and your free time is at night. So basically what I talked about in the episode That'll Never Be was that recently, and I've been out of school for a long time, but recently I've started finally to get myself away from those college hours, as I call them. Staying up till 4 in the morning and then sleeping till 1 p.m. type of thing. I've been trying my best to not do that and go to bed at a normal time, at least a little bit more normal than I was before, by about 4 or 5 hours. So that's quite significant. I didn't like it when I would be going to bed and I could hear the birds chirping outside, the birds that had just woken up. You know, it's like the rooster crowing type of thing. It's 6 in the morning and the sun's starting to break, and there you are trying to get some sleep. So I didn't really like that too much. I see that I'm missing 2 steps. Don't tell me out of this whole wall. Did I get them there? Yeah. Out of this entire wall, I'm missing 2 stairs. 2 stairs like that. 1, 2. They're supposed to go right there. See how these have them? Man. OCD much, though. Anyway. Yeah, so I've been out of school for a while. Makes me sound pretty old. I'm not even 30 yet. I had some comments I saw the other day, a few months ago now, and someone was saying, "How old is Poet?" And someone replied, and they said, I'm pretty sure, that's the quote, what they said. I'm pretty sure he's about 35. And I was thinking to myself, like, Jesus, that's more than, I'm not quite 30 yet. So that's dating me. 5 years is pretty significant if I was 30. But I'm not even 30 yet, so that's kind of like, oh, do I really age myself that much? But I guess a lot of maturity comes from age, for sure. It does. Why am I running? Oh, I only have 1. Okay, well, I'll make another. I went to university really early on. I had an advancement into university. So I got to start university at 17, which is not exactly normal here. In Canada, I think in the United States as well, normal university age is 18. You graduate when you're 18. You start university when you're 18, turning 19 type of thing. And that's normal. For me, I was 17, turning 18. So it was kind of a little bit different for me, just in that I was one of the younger people in the school right away. I didn't know what to expect, and it was kind of, I don't know. I think you can make your own conclusions as to how that might be. But I had a good time. But at least, it kind of forced me to mature earlier, I guess, which maybe goes a long way to kind of how I act in this series and stuff, and kind of my whole mentology, as I always call it. #mentology. But at the same time, it's still like I've been on those college hours for upwards of, I don't know, how long has it been? 10 years or so. And if I think about it that way, that's pretty nuts to be sleeping in a certain way for so long and then to just up and decide, well, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to start sleeping at a different time. It's a lot for my brain to handle, I've found. It does leave me more refreshed in the morning, which is, I find interesting because I never thought that that would be true. I thought, as long as you get 8 hours of sleep, you're fine. But then that turned out to be completely a lie. That's not true at all. You can get 8 hours of sleep. If you do it at night, you feel better in the morning than if you sleep during the day and wake up at night. I don't know why. I can't explain why. But for me at least, I feel better going to bed earlier. I don't know. Just it's a weird little fact. Maybe there's a doctor friend out there that might be able to describe that a little bit more, but I don't know. It's just one of those weird things that you never really believe as a kid, especially. I know my mom always, and still even to this day, if she learns that I'm awake really late at night, she'll tell me, like, why aren't you going to bed early? You can't keep doing that. It's unhealthy. And I even had people where I used to work, because I was the IT manager, and there were days where I'd come in and one of the other managers or the COO or the CEO or whoever it was that I ran into would just look at me and say, "Man, you look tired. You didn't sleep well." And I was like, "What? I did. I got at least 3 hours of sleep." And that's kind of the way that it always went all my life. Up till about, I don't know, a few months ago, I decided that I was going to start taking care of myself a little bit better. Lost 50 pounds. Which is pretty crazy. And I've done it in a healthy way, I think, losing that much weight. Because you hear a lot of people who struggle with weight. I've never really struggled with weight. I'm a big guy, and I've always kind of admitted that, but I haven't always been that way, which is kind of, that's how I knew maybe that it was possible for me to change. When I was in high school, I walked about 2 to 4 miles every single day, which, if you know how long it takes to walk a mile, it was pretty crazy, considering I would do it on my lunch break. I would usually take an apple with me, an apple and a drink, and I would walk for about 2 miles one way and then turn around, walk 2 miles back to get to my next class. And that's kind of how I spent a lot of, at least the first couple years of high school, was doing a lot of exercise. I was very, very active in the gym and stuff like that. I did consider myself pretty fit, and there was things like that I didn't have a problem with weight or anything. When I got to university is kind of where it all changed. They say that when you go to university, you put on the freshman 15. That's what they call it. 15 pounds you gain when you're in college. You're eating a lot of ramen. You're eating a lot of fast food, junk food when you're cramming. Because you're having college hours, as I call them. Because you have those hours, your body doesn't metabolize things properly, I guess, is maybe part of it. So there's all of that involved in that freshman 15. I definitely believe that it is a thing. Except for me, it was more like the freshman 50. I kept gaining and gaining, and a lot of it had to do with a lot of my friends too. It's not because we were all computer geeks or anything like that, as the stereotype might presume, but because that's just what we did. We went for lunch. We finished our class, we would go for lunch. We would hang out in the cafeterias. We would hang out in different bars, and we would hang out, in places where food is. And we're not going to just sit around and talk. We're going to order some food, and that's what happened. But long story short is that, yes, I have lost recently about, oh, look at that. More stone brick stairs just sitting there. Oh, look at that! Perfect. Perfect. But anyway, long story short is that I have lost about 50 pounds, and the way that I've done it is almost the most simple thing you could ever imagine, to the point where it's kind of like, duh, is, man, I sounded so 90s there. But you stop eating when you're full, is all that I've done, you know. I was eating a lot out of habit, because, you know, I'm sitting at the computer, I might as well be eating something, I'm watching a movie or something, I want popcorn, I want chips, I want, you know, something to snack on, and I wouldn't even be hungry, but I'd be looking in the fridge for, like, what can I make myself, what can I eat, what can I have as a snack, and I've stopped that, in nothing short of just having willpower now. For some unknown reason, is that I decided, you know what, I'm not going to eat when I'm not hungry, and it's incredible. I mean, I can go sometimes hours and hours without eating, and that might sound unhealthy, but, you know, when I'm hungry, my body tells me I'm hungry, and so I eat, and then my body tells me I'm full, and I mean, that seems so logical, right? But someone who has weight problem, or is pretty heavy in some way, you know what I mean. It's not that easy. You know, you just eat when you want to. So, kind of a pat on my back that I've lost that much, and I'm still losing all the time. I do still like snack foods, and especially when my dad's over, or my brother or something like that, I like to go out for dinner, and usually it's not the most healthy food, and I do order takeout about once every 2 weeks too, and that's never very healthy food either, but I'm getting better, and you know, it just gets better and better as you keep going. So I'm kind of proud of myself in that way, because I do know that a lot of people do struggle with it, like I was saying, but I don't think for me that it's going to be a very big problem. You know, it's very easy for me to just, you know, decide I want to lose it and then lose it. And I once had a what was she now? She was kind of like a nutritionist, I guess, kind of. Is maybe the right word? I'm not sure if that's what she was. But she even said, like, you know, it would be very, very easy for me, I think, because of my metabolism or something like that. And I think that going to bed earlier, which kind of is the whole what started this entire conversation, going to bed earlier does kind of help things in that sense as well. It's got to, because I think it's all kind of part of it. What else? I mean, I'm just going on everything that's going on in my life. My internet situation is basically fixed. So I think that I talked about this in another episode. I'm not sure. I'll just quickly recap. Because it is a very important aspect of my life. The internet is my income, you know, doing videos online. That's what I do. So the internet's very important. But what happened, to recap, is that I was paying almost, but not quite, but almost $400 a month for internet. And you ask anybody, yeah, that's right, take your jaw up off the floor. Almost $400 a month for internet, and there was no real benefit or reason why. And really, the entire reason was because back where I used to live was out of town. It was about 10 minutes outside the city, rural, in the middle of nowhere, in the prairies. There was no good internet, and I actually just recently talked to someone else who apparently lives somewhere else in Canada. Somewhere else in Canada in the middle of nowhere. Not in the prairies, but in the woods, like in a cabin type of thing. And they said that they have to pay pretty much the same. And that's unfortunately just the way that Canada is. And I've done my research. You know, I was a former IT manager. I know how things go. And honestly, it's not going to change in 20 years. It's just that's the way that it is, you know? Sad but true. And anyway, that's what I was paying. What I found, what I was paying for, was leased through a third-party company. So I was paying a company. They bought their lines from someone else, and then that someone else installed them in my house. So that's kind of the way that it was working. And I found out, like, the speed was just never there. And that's the biggest issue with it. Is that I'm paying $400 a month, let's round up. I'm paying this crazy amount and not getting that service. Like, at the very least, I should at least be getting what I pay for, you know. It's crazy that I have to pay for it. That's, you know, I signed a contract where I used to live. I moved. That was my doing. I had to follow through with their internet company, even though I could have gotten better and cheaper. But I had signed a contract. So basically what happened is I called the third-party provider one day because my internet was down. My internet was just, it was down. And I had finally, it was kind of the final straw. If you ask any of my friends, anybody on TimeShot who I played with, anybody who knows the situation a little bit better, they know that I was frustrated by it. Let's see. There we go. Oh, did I mention I died again? 12 deaths now. I was trying to clean up this prank by Fabe, and lava poured all over me and killed me. So it was kind of like a double death prank. I lost everything, but I went, you can see by my levels, I've been caving like crazy, enchanting like crazy. I got 2 picks now, a Silk Touch pick and a Fortune 3 pick. I had other diamond picks as well that are broken, and this one is breaking now too, that I didn't enchant. One was a Fortune 2, I think it was, but it broke just from me mining. That's how much I was mining. That I went through about 3 diamond picks. And also to get some of the stone and stuff for this project. You can see I got a lot of stone from doing that mining. But no harm done. Anyway, that was kind of off to a tangent there. I wasn't talking about that. But yeah, that's basically, in a nutshell, the internet situation. And what I proved was, I had problems. What I proved was, by calling the third-party company that they leased their line from, that is not even provided by them. They could not physically give me the connection that I was paying for. So it was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. You guys can't give me the line that I'm paying this other company for through you guys? Like, that was the final straw. So what I did was I went to my company, my internet company at the time, and said to them, look, you give me what I pay for, or I will file a lawsuit. It's as simple as that. And that lawsuit will go back as far as I can in lost revenue due to me paying for something that you guys could never have provided. And still, even to this day, I know that, like, I was talking to my mom was really upset. She was saying to me, like, why don't you sue them? You should sue them. And to get the money back for what I paid, you know, because I did pay that money for something that didn't exist. You know, it's still a reality. But my decision was, you know what, it's not really worth it. They've, you know what, if they want to win that money, that's fine. You know, it's theirs. I can't deny that I didn't have service. I did have some service, even if it wasn't exactly what I was paying for. But certainly it could have been better. I still don't care. I don't really care. You know, I'm willing to. Oops, I did this wrong. I'm willing to just let it slide, you know. I'm sure a lot of people out there, especially in some of the civilizations that enjoy lawsuits, like the Americas and stuff. I probably would have sued them if I was American. I'll say that. It's kind of the American way. But for me, you know what? I just kind of let it slide. You know what? I don't care. I don't care that much to spend my days in court for what? $1,000? What did I ultimately lose? Couple thousand, 6,000? Doesn't matter. It won't make me happy. It won't make me happy. What makes me happy is that I am now on a new internet company. I have a new internet company. It's less than... Right now I'm paying $23 a month for the first 6 months. It's a promo. For 50% of the speed that I had before. So it is slower, but I'm paying $23 a month. So clearly there will be humongous benefit. It's just a matter of, time. Time is all that it is. And then suddenly I'll have that extra money in my pocket. It'll be nice. It'll be really nice. Let's see here. What am I doing here? Yes, this is right. I think I'll just go like this. It's easier this way. Yes. All right. This tower, in case you were wondering, is going to be kind of the enchanting room. I decided that I was going to move my enchanter from that place way over there, close to home. I thought the best place to do it would be within a wizard's tower, a mage's tower, if you will. And so here we are. I have sort of a mage's tower, more or less, that I'm going to be building. Let's see. That goes inside. Huh. Just making sure. I'm just kind of double checking, triple checking what it's all supposed to look like. Because it's basically the same... Basically the same thing repeated again and again and again. So, for one thing, all those corners that I did saying it would be easier, I have to rip them all up. But that's okay. So there we go. There we go. There we go. Alright. And then I basically have to go like that. That'll cover that. 2. 1, 2, and then 1 I think will cover it. And I'll get rid of all this dirt later. So I go like that, that. Yes. This is doing it right. Alright, so what else? Something much more personal is that I did go through a breakup. But, I mean, no hard feelings at all. I don't know that anybody will ever really know who, because I didn't really reveal that. Neither did the other person. And it wasn't really so much from a, why would we tell anybody, why should you tell anybody type of thing. We both did YouTube videos, I'll say that much, but it just ended. That's a simple, whoopsie! That's as simple as it can be. There really wasn't anything dramatic about it. It just ended, and it was very mutual. The reason we didn't tell anybody the details wasn't because we knew it wasn't going to last or anything like that. It was just strictly from a personal privacy standpoint, because it's not really anybody's business. But I'm telling you guys this stuff now just because, why not? It's my life. And it's something that I had to go through. But like I said, there were no hard feelings whatsoever. And even now we're still friends, so that's kind of a good thing about it. And that's it's a natural progression of things, I guess, is the way to say it. is that sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you can never know if it's going to work out unless you try. So that's kind of, I guess, what we did. No regrets, really. But obviously, I mean, if you're going to say no regrets, then that's probably one of the most untrue things you could say. Because I think that when you think you're in love, or when you think you found the person that you do care about, you always hope that it'll last for a long time, if not forever, you know. And I think our relationship only lasted maybe 2 or 3 months. Maybe, well, let me think about it. 3 months for sure. So maybe 3.5 to 4 months at the very most, which isn't a very long time. So of course the regret is that it didn't last nearly as long as I thought it would. But you know what? Bygones and so on. I'll let them be. Let's see. This is the second tier, right? Yeah, 1, 2, and then I'm gonna go up 3, and then I'm gonna cap it off somehow with some kind of a roof. I don't know. The building materials I'm choosing match this largely. I'll probably therefore tie in a lot of these magenta style glass blocks as well, just because that seems to be the theme of this place. But I think that's this is good for now. Yeah. But anyway, kind of anyway, why I mentioned it and why it all ties it together is because in speaking about my personal life, which is what I wanted to do in this episode, that's a big part of it. And one of the bigger things in my life, of course, is money and financial problems and things like that I've struggled with for the last year. Everything is starting to look up, which is a good thing, obviously. Everything is starting to look up. And, you know, I remember a time when I was in such dire straits, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know whether I was going to have heat tomorrow type of thing. And because of you guys doing donations and stuff like that, you pulled me through that. And it's just gotten better and better and better. So in a strange and funny way, a breakup in that sense can actually be financially beneficial, because, you know, when I'm, especially me, when I'm with someone, I want to take care of them. I want to give them nice things. I want to do nice things for them, no matter what the cost is. And that, to me, can be kind of a detrimental thing, if it's detrimental in any way. And of course, it's never a problem, you know, when I'm in a relationship. But when I'm out of the relationship, my only point is that it is noticeable that, oh, suddenly, you know, that trip that we were going to take together, we're not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. You know, if I wanted to buy anniversary gifts and things like that, I don't do that anymore. So that's kind of a, financially speaking, it is a little bit of a better situation. But obviously, money isn't everything. But my internet bill is getting better. All my bills are really starting to pick up, I think. I need to sleep away the night to keep working up there. All my bills are really picking up. I switched to a new network, which you guys know about. I left Curse Network, who I was more than happy about, and I still give them rave reviews. I'm not negative about them like I was with Maker Studios, who I was with before Curse. Total jerkwads they were. Curse was great, but now I'm with Defy Network, and they've been nothing but really great too. There was some kind of an issue right at the beginning where I didn't get paid on time, but that was just the first payment. Hopefully it's fixed now for every other payment. And it is, I have to say, it is, financially speaking, a little tiny bit of a promotion, if you can call it that. I am making a little bit more money through their network than I was with Curse. So things are all looking up financially speaking, I am now able to make it to Minecon. I don't think I've announced that officially yet. I did mention it on the Reddit, of course, but I will officially announce it here too that I am going to Minecon. It's looking 90% certain right now, where I will have enough at least saved up by that point. I think it's going to be either in very, very late November, but looking more like early December, mid-December type of thing, because they still haven't released tickets yet. But by then, surely, if things are going as well as they are right now, especially even just with me moving from Curse and me eliminating that internet bill, that will give me enough savings to go to Minecon, which is something that's really important to me, because I get to meet some of the people from TimeShot who want to go, like Fabe and Dave and Liam, and there's actually quite a few other people who aren't even a member of TimeShot who I've played with in the past, who are making the long trip to Europe for Minecon. And it's always great to just kind of, these are my friends. I consider them my real friends, and it's nice to get to see in person your real friends and kind of hang out with them. So that's really important to me. And of course, the fans who show up there, that's going to be very nice too. But apart from that, I think that's all that I really wanted to spit out today. So that's it. I'm just building, and the reason I'm building is because of the TimeShot map download, which I'm sure is available by now. By the time you see this episode, go check it out. Maybe I'll have finished this. I don't know what else I'll finish. I feel like building has kind of taken a back seat recently, especially in my builds. But this wall is 95% done, 99% done, something like that. I still want to do some interior decoration to it. I was thinking maybe fences or something along the back wall there. I don't know what, but let's say it's 99% done. So that's finished, and I'm starting to build that. So that's kind of cool, and yeah, we'll go from there. So share this video on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe if you haven't already, and do all those other awesome things you people do. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.